hello.
Hi there.
And welcome to Emerging Aurora, the off-the-cuff broadcast that brings you the inspiring stories behind the local businesses and the ones that are driving our economy forward. I'm your host, Vern Cunningham. You probably know this from other ones. And today we've got something of interest for anyone who is brave enough to start their own business. This podcast is for those with a dream and a love of creating a social place for our community. With great coffee, sandwiches, and baked goods, this is the place to be. Our guest today is Sandy Ferran from the Saltbox Cafe, located right here in downtown Aurora. Welcome, Sandy.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is just a thrill to be here.
Oh, yeah, it's a thrill for me as well.
Yeah.
I drove by your place a few times, but I haven't had a chance to go in yet. But I will.
I'll look forward to that.
Definitely, yes. Now, let's start with your story.
Okay.
What inspired you to open your cafe here in Aurora, and how has the town helped you shape your journey?
I'll try to make it as short as possible. I have worked in the corporate world for a very long time, and but before that, when I went to university, I worked at a restaurant for about 10 years, all different kinds of restaurants and whatnot. And it was my true love. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And but then I graduated from university, and there were certain expectations, primarily from myself, to do the office job and that sort of thing. And I did it, and but always had a little hankering in the back of my mind that I'd like to get back to the services industry. I loved it. So once I retired, during COVID, actually, the idea of opening my own cafe started to percolate. My husband is also getting close to retirement now, and one of the things we want to do is move to a smaller community, because I'm from a very small town of about 630 people, and I wanted to get back, but not too far from the city where we have family. And I started looking around, and I had friends here, and I thought this would be the perfect place. It has a really small town feel, but it's still big enough that, there's lots of amenities and the cultural center and the parks and everything. And so I looked here, and I found the perfect place, Saltbox.
Well, I think you'll find that the people of Aurora are very welcoming, and it's a great community. So you're very fortunate to be here, and we are very fortunate to have you as well. So thank you for that. Now, the interesting thing, names are always important in any business. And what's the origin of your name, the Saltbox Cafe?
Well, this is actually a really interesting story. So and this kind of speaks to why I fell in love with Aurora. And I remember going home to my husband and saying, oh my God, the people here are just amazing. So I contacted, I think it's Lisa House at the town. And I said, I'm trying to get some information for my name. I want a name. I need a name for it. I don't want to just have something like Sandy's Cafe. So I said, is there anybody I could talk to who's would know the history of the building? And she said, oh yeah, I know. I think Adam Robb. He's on he's also works for the town. And she gave me his number, and I sent him off an email saying, can you send me some information about this building? And he sent me back. Because it's historically designated, or it's in the process, and this whole history. And I went through it, and it was funny because he says, I don't know if in his email, I don't know if there'd be anything there that's that interesting for a name for it. And I was reading through it, and it said it was the first owner or occupant was the first shoemaker in 1860s here in Aurora, or it wasn't Aurora, it was, of course, Meckens Corners. And he said, it's a salt box design. That's why it's sort of rare here in Ontario. And I was reading through this, and I just went, salt box? I love it. So I globbed onto that, and it has become part of the story of the cafe. It's not just a name. People who come, I put up the story, what I just told you on the wall, and its history, and people have come. And initially, everyone asks where it comes from, the name. Everyone is interested. And also, I have had people come and tell me stories about them living in, not them living, but someone they knew or their family. And there was one of the stories I love the best, and they're by no means the only one, was this woman came in, Grace, who's 95 years old. And her niece brought her in, and she was her grandmother was the second owner after the shoemaker, and moved in 1905. And she remembers going there as a young girl to visit her grandmother. And the part I love the most is she came in the back door, and the back door has 3 steps. You can use it from the parking lot, but she has some mobility issues. And I said, why are you coming in the back door? And she said, well, Grandma never let us come in the front door, so I'm not going to start now. And so, and it really, the building itself has really captured the imaginations, I think, of the people. People love it. They all want to know the history. They, they've told their friends, they've read about it. So anyways, that's sort of the bit of the history.
My understanding of the term saltbox is the construction of the roof and how the back of it slopes down and you've got a room behind it.
Right.
Now, my grandparents had a house like that in northern New Brunswick.
Right.
And what it was is in the back section that sloped down, that's where they stored all the wood because they had a wood stove in the kitchen. And you're right, no one came in the front door. Everyone came in the back door.
Right.
And we've had visitors coming in that place that were distantly related. They would come in, sit in a rocking chair, not say a word. My mother would go, grab him a beer, give him a beer.
Yeah.
And he'd sit there, finish his beer, then leave.
And then off he'd go.
And it was the strangest thing. And again, it was all back door. No one came in the front door.
Nobody came in the front door. Well, another gentleman who is just who often comes in, he didn't live in the building or have anything to do with it, but once he read about it, he got very excited about the saltbox design and the architectural style. And as you mentioned, down east, they're very, much more prevalent, especially in Newfoundland. And he's expanded on the story, so he's done a lot more research, and he's talked about. How it goes back to the 1600s, the actual saltbox design. And one of the reasons is because the architectural design was the second story. If you had a second story, you were taxed. But by putting the back on that wasn't a second story, you only got taxed for a single story. Yeah, and he actually did some of this research. And now every time he comes in, he has a little bit more information for me on it.
Well, what's interesting about that northern New Brunswick where I came from, the houses all looked old and run down. And people didn't paint their houses. And the reason for it is if your house was painted, your taxes would go up.
Oh, is that right?
So people are very ingenious doing things to get rid of paying more money for things.
I love it.
It's the world we live in.
It is, yeah.
Now, Aurora has a unique community feel. I mean, I found that when I came here. What's something about the local culture or people that you think gives you an edge?
Oh, it's just been quite incredible, actually. And it's hard to sum up just one thing, but I would say is the sincerity of people wanting me to succeed is incredible. Social media has been great, but I can honestly say that word of mouth, somebody comes in and they said, I told my brother, I told my sister, I told my neighbor, I've brought my friend in who hasn't been before. And this happens at least 10 times a day. People coming in who really, really want to see me do well. And, are not just lip service. They're actually coming and bringing people and telling people. And I'm so amazed, right? Because I'm an outsider. And, you go to certain communities and sometimes they don't really want, you're okay. I mean, right? But I really feel as if I've been embraced as part of the community, and I'm starting to talk about it as Saltbox Aurora. right? Because, as opposed to just the Saltbox Cafe, right? Because I had to add Aurora in on some of my social media because there's other salt boxes.
Always there.
Right?
Okay.
So I always said Saltbox Aurora. But now it's become so second nature to say Saltbox Aurora. It feels so much like a community place.
I think you're right. People in Aurora, and this is my understanding of it, like supporting businesses that allow them to be social. If you go into some of the fast food coffee places, they're a place to get a coffee and leave. They're not a place where you can linger and speak to your friends. So it's too impersonal. So a place that's got a little bit of intimacy to it, I can understand it's going to be a success forever because people are craving that. We're tired of these chrome-plated terrazzo tile, phony kind of restaurants that people go into and they just design them so you can fit everybody in instead of providing an environment that's conducive to being social.
Right. And I mean, just to further that, I mean, one of the things that I really, have enjoyed seeing and did not necessarily, I wanted this, but I didn't necessarily know this would happen, is that, yes, people come in now and you'll immediately say, "Oh, Barbara, how's, she'll see, they'll see somebody they know and how's the baby and, you know what I mean? And it's become a place that happens all day as well. There's people coming and going who know each other. Of course, there's lots of new people as well, but it's a place where I find a lot of connection is happening. Yes. And also, I'm getting to know their stories as well. So there's always these long, at the cash, these conversations about, did your daughter have, your granddaughter have her baby, right? And it really is a dream come true.
The people of Aurora, it's really quite amazing. I've had the same experience that you have had. Good. Yeah. Is that you get people, you see them everywhere, and then they almost become family in a sense, because they're always happy to see you and talk to you, and you're happy to see them as well. So it's quite good. Yeah. Now, running a restaurant and a cafe comes with a lot of ups and downs, and especially with COVID. We've seen the destruction of a lot of good businesses because of COVID, because you didn't have a choice. You were kind of restricted. What's been the most surprising challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
I would have to say it was January and February. It's a very difficult, you don't really know what to expect. And in the service industry, in the retail industry, January and February are always the toughest months, right? Yes. So, according to my coffee business friends and other owners, the number of people coming in was quite well. But there were days where there weren't. And maybe it was a snowstorm, or maybe this is, and you started to question, is this the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life? Because, January and February are typically very, very slow in the business, and I was new and word wasn't getting out. But, you have to look at the overall picture. I have friends in the business that don't just look at the day, right? Look at, the sales in one day. Look at the overall month and how you did. And then when you start to learn to not take, one day as a thing. When you look at the overall picture, you think, hey, you know what? I'm actually doing quite well. My sales goals I'm pretty close to where I want to be, and probably even better than maybe, given a January. So, you kind of can't look at the day-to-day things.
Yeah, and you have to. Now, coffee prices apparently are going through the roof.
Mine just went up 15%.
You did, eh?
Well, not not at the cafe.
No,
I'm not going to rate them, but my
actually
beans have gone up 15%.
Why is that? Why did they tell you that it's going up?
A drought in certain parts of the world where the coffees come from is the main reason, and it's killing the crops.
And the same problem with chocolate, too. Chocolate has gone up tremendously in the past couple of years because of, again, conditions such as drought.
That's right. Your coffee mocha is going to cost you a lot more.
Who knew, right?
The chocolate and no, but we're going to keep our prices the same for now.
Now, if you could collaborate with any other local business leader in Aurora or York region, because it's all sort of all together, what would it be, and what would you love to create together?
I don't know if this is a place. I don't know if this is a business leader. I mean, first of all, there as a coffee shop, you can collaborate with almost anyone, right? Because whatever someone's wanting to do, you can collaborate. So I'll give you an example. For Valentine's Day, we did a special, which was lattes and love. So we had this little, and these guys actually bought a few, coffee with a little bit of flowers. Well, I was still pretty new here. So, in the future, I would probably collaborate with the local flower shop to get the flowers, right? Rather than the flower shop. So there's all kinds of things like that. Art, so Rosa's, Rose Gallery, Rosa has a gallery, we could collaborate that way, bring her art in and do that sort of thing. It's just endless. I could, do coffee for various things. But one of the things that interests me, and not right away because I'm trying to, I still have I'm still just 4 or 5 months in, but I would like to create some sort of community partnership where we do reach out for to do sort of events where we help groups of people, bring them to the cafe, maybe have Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas dinners, that sort of thing. Work with the local maybe food banks and that sort of thing. We have the facilities there to offer up, a meal at a special occasion, bring them in, make them feel like they're, special.
And I'm sure they all are.
Food,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hard to say, but I know where the space is used to give people a chance to connect who might not otherwise have a place to go at Christmas or Thanksgiving and that sort of thing. So I'm not sure that's necessarily answering your question there.
Well, it is in a sense. And what I was referring to probably is things such as tarts and maybe fudges and so on, where you could get a local person that makes special fudge and name it Saltbox fudge.
Oh, yeah.
Or Portuguese tarts, which are very well accepted, so it becomes Saltbox tarts. So you end up having something that's relatively unique to your establishment.
Right.
And you create a name that way. That's one possibility.
Yeah.
Something else, too, that I would consider, doesn't mean you have to or you would, is in the summer, July and August, we have music in the park. So that usually starts about 7. And it would be good if you were able to be open up until 8 on those days so people could go to your cafe to have something to eat before the park.
Right.
So it may be something you want to consider. The Armory tried that. But the problem with that is they were right in the park, so people didn't want to leave the facility because they had a beautiful viewing, you see.
Oh, yeah.
And your business is having people come in and leave eventually.
Yeah, right.
Not stay there all night.
Right.
So these are the kind of things that may work in the community too, because you could have a special grilled cheese and mushroom sandwich for the music in the park people.
I think you're right. I mean, and also the market. I mean, there's that sort of on the Saturdays. A lot of people have mentioned the collaboration. Doing stuff.
Well, the nice thing about that and music in the park is parking is always an issue there when the music's on. So if they're having supper at your place, they could park close to the park, walk to your cafe, and then walk back.
Yes, exactly.
And then they have a great parking spot. So
I think the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
I really do, given what our product is, right? And that everybody likes to have treats and coffee and, something to eat and whatnot. Yeah.
Now, do you have any capability of putting an outdoor portion, or are you just too close to the street?
No, actually, I do. I have a small space out front that's enclosed, and I'm going to put cafe tables out there starting May 1st.
Oh, great. Great.
So not a lot. It's not the biggest space. I think 5 small, little bistro tables.
That's okay. Okay.
So, I mean, we're going to do that. And again, that's something everyone has asked me.
Well, I mean, traveling in Europe, outdoor cafes are the thing in the summertime. Where you can just sit there, have a cup of coffee, and watch the world go by.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a successful endeavor for you, and I hope it works out as well as I think it should.
Yeah, right. Me too.
Okay, if you could give one piece of advice to someone thinking of starting or growing a business in Aurora, what would it be?
I think do your research. Because when I started, I mean, I love the town and stuff, but the town is great on their website. They have all kinds of information about the demographics, the economics, everything you can possibly ask for is on there. So, I mean, if you're going to open, a restaurant, or if you're going to open any kind of shop, and you've got to know your market. That's one of the most important things in business, is to know your target market. And the town of Aurora has all that kind of information on its website. You can so that would be my biggest is know who.
The town is a great resource, as you said.
Exactly.
There's a lot of information available.
Yeah.
And I think with the Economic Advisory Board, they're a great resource to use.
Right.
Because they want to see you succeed. They want to see you grow.
Yep.
And when you have a government such as the town wanting you to succeed, you can't lose.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had that feeling right from the get-go. I mean, getting the permits and everything for it. I mean, I really always felt that there was somebody at the other end I could call and talk to, and who would pick up the phone, right? And rather than who would try to help you. That has been my experience from day one. Calling the town, and someone is there and willing to help.
Yeah, the worst thing we can all hear is, please leave a message after the tone.
Right? And in my experience, if that has happened, I've gotten a call back. Like, honestly, within a very short time, somebody has called back. It has been really a great, the town has been great to deal with, and it's still very surprising to me. It's very unusual, I think.
Well, it's really a town that cares. Like I'm involved in the town. I've been involved in it for quite a while. I was on the initial board of directors for the Aurora Economic Advisory Board, and now I'm on the board at the Senior Center. So I know what this town is about, and it is about people that care about people.
How did it keep that small town? How does it keep that? Because I have a lot of experience with other working in municipalities and understanding them, and not all of them are able to do that, especially when there's a lot of people coming from the outside.
Well, I would think you have to be adaptable. And it's very difficult to be aware of that. For example, when I first started on the board, I felt that it wasn't diverse enough, and we moved to change that very quickly because the population of Aurora has changed.
Right.
We've had different people from different backgrounds, different countries, and we want them all to know that they're welcome here in Aurora. So we haven't lost that ability to attract people of other nationalities into the Aurora area.
And welcome them.
Yes, very much so.
And not sort of like us and them.
Well, like at the Senior Center, I mean, the combination of people and where they come from and backgrounds is amazing. And everyone is welcome, and everyone's friendly to everybody else. And, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and it grows that way. And as long as we can maintain that and not become too American in our attitude towards non-European people, I think we'll keep going that way. A little political thing there. I shouldn't put it.
No. I mean, but it is a bit unique, even in Canada, where we try to embrace a lot of diversity and whatnot. You can still find that there's silos of people who don't.
There always will be.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of that, but I think if you keep it to a minimum, it's workable.
Yeah.
It's when it becomes large groups of people that have a negative attitude towards a group of people but don't know anyone from that group. And all that does is show their ignorance more so than anything else, We're all in here doing the same thing. We're doing the best. We want to raise a family in a nice environment. We want to have nice restaurants. It's not complicated. And as long as we do that, we're okay.
I think so.
And as long as we have people like you, we'll definitely succeed.
Thank you.
So where are you from originally, Sandy?
I'm from Westport.
Okay. That's around Kingston Way, right?
That's north north of Kingston. You turn at Division and go north. Yeah, along, and we call it the Perth Road. And yeah, that's where I'm from. It's a town of 630 people. I don't know. A lot of people ask me if I'm from the East Coast because of the Saltbox. I have very strong East Coast roots. That my mom and she has a huge family and all cousins, and we went there every year. We pulled the trailer down and whatnot, and so in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton is really. I can't say a second home, but it feels very much like it's a part of me. Yeah.
Well, you know what is that I'm from, I don't know if you got that, but I'm from New Brunswick.
Right.
My dad was from St. John.
Yeah.
My mother was from Caracat, which is the Acadian part of New Brunswick, and we have an Acadian part of Nova Scotia as well. So, and I think the attitude for Easterners is all the same, is our door is always open.
Yep.
There's always a beer in the fridge.
Yep.
And a deck of cards on the table.
I think so.
To play solitaire or to play crib, and you're always welcome.
Yeah.
And if you keep that kind of atmosphere and flavor in your cafe, you'll have to double it in size.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be something?
I would be good. Okay, now, Sandy, I sort of run out of questions to ask you, but I could talk to you all night. So if you're in no hurry.
Not at all. Not at all.
Do you have any questions about Aurora that I may be able to answer?
I wonder, I have some questions about the Historical Society. Do you sit on the Historical Society board? No? Okay.
But I know people that do.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering if there is a for the Saltbox, if they actually do tours of the different any of the historical buildings.
I don't know if they have a tour. I know that they designate a number of buildings as being historical because they want to keep the history alive, and I agree with that. There's no point in tearing all this old stuff down with aluminum and chrome and stuff and glass.
Right.
The character of old homes or old buildings is phenomenal, and that's why the Aurora Town Square, as you will notice, they didn't tear down that original building there. They built on it, and they tried to incorporate it in the whole theme of the area, which I thought was quite clever.
And where did you, how did you come to Aurora? When did you, what attracted you here, or how did you get here?
Oh, it's not complicated, but I'll give it to you. I was born in northern New Brunswick. My first language is French.
Right.
And I still speak French. I grew up in Montreal. I went to Montreal when I was about a year and a half old. And then in business, I was transferred to Winnipeg. Then I was transferred to Vancouver. Then I ended up back in Montreal. I spent a year in Ottawa, and now I'm in this area.
Okay.
So originally I lived in Unionville. We rented a house there. Couldn't afford to buy a house there, so we found one in Aurora. And
how many years ago was that you moved
about at least 35 years
ago.
ago.
So it's been a while.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen the town. When I came up here, I think there was 17,000 residents in Aurora.
Yeah.
And now it's over 60,000.
Is that right?
And the flavor has not changed much.
I'm still amazed at that. That the town, that it has managed to maintain its still small town feel kind of like, where people feel welcome. I know I said that earlier, but that still amazes me. And, it's a very special place.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And there's a lot of unique things about Aurora that people don't realize. For example, is we have 2 train stations in Aurora, or close to Aurora.
Right.
We have Bloomington on the 404, that'll take you right downtown. And we have the one on Wellington and Industrial Parkway, that'll take you right downtown by a different system. We can go east or west and get anywhere rather quickly and out of traffic. When I was going to Kitchener to get some business done at the old Electrohome plant, I'd go along Highway 9 and then cut down through Fergus and so on.
Yeah.
And it was terrific. In the summer, it was really good. Winter, not so much. But it was an alternative to taking the 401 all the time, because at those days, the 407 wasn't built yet. And the 401 was always like a parking lot instead of something enjoyable.
It still is.
Yeah. And that's why, some of the back roads, if you look at Aurora, you can go east or west
On the back roads.
On the back roads.
Yeah.
And, well, they're not even back roads. They're main roads. Like if you're going to
The side roads.
Peterborough or anywhere else, you can go down Bloomington and get on to, I think, 22 or 23.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That'll take you to Port Perry, and then that'll take you on that way. You can go north on Highway 35
Yeah.
and so on and so on and so forth. So it's good. It's very, very good from a location standpoint.
Right.
The people are extremely well educated here. The businesses are varied, so you've got a lot of different kinds of businesses. Great place to live. Great.
No, it's been a great experience, and yes, and part of the research I did, I looked into the businesses and it is quite impressive the number of businesses that have set up shop here and whatnot. It's certainly must be attracted. Like the town must, like you can tell just by that
Yes,
the town,
yes.
something is going on that's going right, or they wouldn't come here.
Exactly.
Large companies and businesses. It tells you something, right?
The people care. I mean, the people that run the town care about people that want to locate here. So they go out of their way to be welcoming, to be helpful in any questions they may have. And the residents are the same way. You can ask me questions about Aurora, and all I can think of are positives.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me one negative thing.
There isn't any.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
You can dream up negative things.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I love it.
But I think all the positive things. Living here 35 years, I find that some restaurants I go to, the serving staff have been around for a long time as well. So they welcome you as part of the
Bunchberry.
family. Yes. Donna at Bunchberry is an angel.
I love Donna.
I know, we all do.
Oh my gosh.
And Donna used to be at Jonathan's way back
Oh,
when.
yeah?
And that's where originally I met Donna. But that's the kind of place it is.
Yeah.
And they come in, like Donna, we go in there, we sit down, gives us coffee automatically. We don't have to order it. Doesn't give us menus anymore because she knows that we know what we want. And it's a very welcoming atmosphere.
Yes.
And I like that.
Oh, I love that. And the food is great.
Oh, I had lunch there today.
Did you?
Yeah, and breakfast.
My husband and I always stop in for breakfast when he's up here, when he comes up on the weekends. Yeah, no, I really love it. And I've had some pretty good experiences. And business-wise, I get lots of business people coming in. And
That's how it starts.
Yeah. Right?
And that's all you need. And the nice thing you have where you're located is you've got your parking lot in the back.
I know.
And parking on Wellington is never that easy.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you can park on Victoria or Wells and walk across the street. There's a crosswalk there at Wells, which makes that a little bit easier. But parking has always been an issue down there.
Yeah. Well, that's what actually, if I had to name the one of the top conversation pieces we have is how thankful people are that we have parking in the back. Everyone says, "Oh, it's so good you have parking."
Well, it is because it's difficult.
Well, actually, what I do is I park on the street because between 9 and 4 you can't.
That was your white car there on the street yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm actually probably becoming someone who's not very popular because I leave it there and I don't think the cars can whiz down the street as fast as they can because they have to stop and go around mine. But what I've found is that now more and more I will go out and there will be people parked on the street.
Yes,
They say, okay,
yes.
well, that car's there, so I think I can park here, right?
And you're allowed to.
And you are allowed to, but I think there's two things here. A, they don't know, or B, they don't want to put their car in jeopardy of being hit because there is a lot of traffic along
This
there.
is Aurora. We don't hit other people.
Well, that's good to know because I leave mine out there. But that's the one thing, and I find that now, I can go out and there'll be 3 or 4 cars parked along there, and I'll look further up. I could be wrong, and I'll see cars parked on the street further up and further down now as well. And I think, oh, see, this is great because businesses need that, right? They need
absolutely.
People coming in
Absolutely.
and out, and what I'd really love to see along there is some more businesses like mine, like more restaurants, more like a whole, where you can walk along and.
Well, I think that's the objective of the Library Square project is to bring more people into the area. I've been to a number of shows that's there at the theater, and they've all been phenomenal.
I know, right?
And it starts off that way. People get used to going down, and they find it's a terrific place to be.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, especially if you're going to an event that starts at 7, you go down at 5, you get something to eat at the Tipsy Goose or Aw Shucks or whatever is in the area.
Yeah.
Or the Saltbox Cafe when it opens later.
That's right, when we open later.
Yeah, and that's hard. I mean, you can't run a business and be at it 24 hours a day. You have to sleep sometime.
Yeah, well, that's it. And it's a growing, it's a developing, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes,
It's developing. Right now we're still really in the infancy stages. So, just getting up and coming and getting the the basic business going and up and running and making sure that all our pastries and sandwiches and things are perfect as perfect can be and that sort of thing is the first stage, right? And our coffee, right?
Yes,
Where we put a big emphasis on our coffee. So
you have to walk before you run.
Yeah. And so then the next stage will be hopefully that'll happen sooner than later and all those things can happen,
Yeah, well,
I honestly, here's a cliche statement. I think that, and I never thought of this before, but anything is possible here.
Yes.
Right? If I had opened up in Toronto, not the same at all. I would not have had the possibilities
You're absolutely
that I
right.
have here. And I see that. I see that there's so many possibilities here. Right?
Yes.
Whereas if I had opened up in Toronto, that would not have been.
No, it's too impersonal.
Yeah.
Here it becomes personal, it becomes intimate, if you want to use that word.
Right.
You go in there, Sandy, Bill, Harry, and it's like coming home. It's like visiting a relative.
Right. And then somebody wants to have their shower there or somebody I've had people meet, book clubs come in. I have 2 book clubs that meet there now. I have a women's group who's the CEO kitchen tables come quite often to meet and have their meetings there.
Tracy?
So I love Tracy.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Isn't she great?
Yes, she is.
Yeah. So,
But she's the kind of person that makes Aurora what it is.
Honestly, right?
Yeah.
And Lynette and
of course,
so
Lynette.
many. I mean, they've been just right there for me since I came.
They're not. There's a lot of things happening. I don't know if you're aware of them. The Optimist Club in Aurora, for example, does a lot of good, positive things for children. One project they have is the Kind Project, which is children or kids in needs delivered. And what that means is when a school notices a child has a need for boots or gloves or hats or whatever, they'll get hold of Sandy. She'll go out and buy something for them and bring it back to the school.
Yes.
So they don't make a big production out of it because the object there is not to embarrass the child. It's to clothe or help the child.
Yes.
And these are the kind of things that happen. The welcome table at Trinity Anglican Church, not too far from you, feed close to 100 people every Wednesday for under $500.
Yeah.
A nutritional meal with protein and vegetables and everything else. And this is the, not underbelly, because underbelly has a negative connotation, but this is the structure that this town is built on, which is one of helping each other out.
Right.
And it's I don't know how unique it is, but I know it makes this town work so well.
Right. And that's where I was trying to get at when I fumbled. One of my answers is that, I want to be able to do things to make a difference. And that means, collaborating, doing help. I mean, it sounds like, and I know there is groups that already exist, then how can I contribute to that? That's more, and like you said, Sandy, go out and buy, and it's, go out and buy some boots and coats, and that's how I have led my life always.
Yes.
So, be able to do that in Aurora is really, you talked about earlier in some of the questions, I think, about your business collaborations. That's less in my mind than that. Yeah. What can I do? So
in essence, you came here and you were one of us before you came.
Maybe, right. Yeah, and they exist everywhere. People who want to help, do. And I think that if you believe in a divine intervention. I mean, I do believe from the bottom of my heart that I came here because this is what I was looking for, and found it very hard in Toronto to find in some ways. You know, I mean, it's there in Toronto, but it's not as intimate. And
it's hard to find.
It's hard to find.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if it was Lynette or somebody else, but one of the gals who came to the opening said to me, she says, if you give back to Aurora, they will give you tenfold
Oh,
back.
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? And I have found that every step of the way. And that's more what I'm about than, sure, I like business collaborations, of course. I mean, you know, that's sometimes more about making money and connecting with people who you know, have like-minded people. But, you know, the whole idea of working with the community to help others is
Win-win. Win-win
is
for
win-win,
everybody.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sandy, I want to thank you.
We've talked a lot.
That's
I've talked a lot.
that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice for you to get out your message to the people that will see this podcast, and to see that you're one of us, not one of them. So, welcome.
Thank you.
And I wish you every success.
Yeah,
and if ever I can be of assistance,
I'll be calling.
please call. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take
Bye-bye
care.
now.
Thank you for this.